A flap over the placement and subsequent removal of a Confederate flag at a Kentucky county courthouse has led to a call for more openness. The Marshall County Fiscal Court voted this week to have staff draft new procedures that would make similar future decisions more open, the Paducah Sun reported. Marshall County Judge Executive Kevin Neal ordered the flag removed last week after it drew criticism. County Commissioner Justin Lamb has said members of the local Sons of Confederate Veterans paid for the flag and raised it in front of the building in Benton. The flag aimed to recognize April as Confederate History Month, Lamb said. Neal verbally authorized the request to display the flag without holding a fiscal court vote. The new policy will affect all county-owned property, Neal said. He's hoping to have a draft review by the county's next meeting. It was made clear that nothing would happen on any of our county properties until that policy is in place and passed by the fiscal court with a majority vote, Commissioner Monty Collins told the newspaper. In other news, an Arkansas House panel rejected for a second time a proposal to change the meaning of a star on the state's flag that represents the Confederacy, despite an endorsement from the Republican governor. The proposal was not to change the design of Arkansas's flag, but to remove the language that describes a blue star above Arkansas's name on the flag as representing the Confederate States of America. Instead, that star would represent the United States of America, and the blue star, currently representing the U.S., would represent American Indian nations. Republican Governor Asa Hutchinson has endorsed the change, calling it the right thing to do. Democratic Representative Charles Blake, the bill's sponsor, said he hasn't ruled out bringing up the proposal again, and said it's also possible a similar proposal could be filed in the Senate. In Hollywood, Florida, a young man with a Confederate flag has been charged with inciting a riot, aggravated assault, disorderly conduct, and brandishing a weapon, in this case, the flagpole. Police say 21-year-old Christopher Monzon is the name of the man who threatened a crowd of about 100 people who gathered outside Hollywood City Hall Wednesday to support removing the names of Confederate generals from city streets. Monzon gave reporters a false name during interviews Wednesday prior to his arrest, identifying himself as Chris Tadino. Monzon yelled at the demonstrators and then charged at them before officers quickly tackled him. Hollywood's commissioners later approved the removal of the names. He was being held at Broward County Jail on $3,000 bond. South Carolina's Confederate Relic Room is dealing with smaller budgets as it takes on the unrequested responsibility of displaying the last Confederate flag to fly at the State House. Museum Director Alan Robertson tells the state newspaper that the museum's budget is $825,000, about $100,000 less than 10 years ago. Robertson says the museum lost a $50,000 donation because of the controversy over the final Confederate flag, and dealing with displaying that banner has eaten into time he planned to use to raise money. Lawmakers required the museum to display the flag removed in July 2015. Robertson and museum officials suggested a $3.6 million display that has not been very well received. Despite its name, the Confederate Relic Room's mission is to educate about South Carolina's role in all wars. And finally, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer on Sunday said gun-toting protesters who demonstrated inside the state capitol in opposition to some of her moves to battle the coronavirus depicted some of the worst racism and awful parts of U.S. history. Whitmer made the assertion on CNN before the release of the latest number of deaths in Michigan related to the coronavirus. Officials say the 29 new deaths which increased the number to 4,049, was one of the lowest daily increases since the pandemic began in Michigan. Confirmed cases in Michigan rose by 547, bringing the total to 43,754. During the CNN appearance, Whitmer said the protests featured Confederate flags and nooses, as well as swastikas. Members of the Michigan Liberty Militia protested the state's stay-at-home orders this week, some with weapons and tactical gear, and their faces partially covered. Some of the outrageousness of what happened at our Capitol depicted some of the worst racism and awful parts of our history in this country, she said. Some went to the state gallery where the senator said armed men shouted at her. Whitmer said the protest wasn't representative of Michigan and that she's going to listen to facts and science to decide how to handle the pandemic.